Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here today. My name is Rasima. I am one of the core team members of the TECA, the entire TECA team. And on behalf of the team, I'd like to welcome you to our second official demo day. For those of you who don't know us yet, TECA empowers young entrepreneurs to transform ideas tackling the negative effects of climate change into innovative solutions. We work very closely with entrepreneurs to explore opportunities in their local markets, identifying urgent climate-related challenges that innovation can help tackle. Before we start, we would really like to thank our supporters, FSD Africa and IUCN, for making this particular effort possible. And also a very big shout out to Ocean Hub Africa as our co-implementing partner in supporting a lot of the companies that you'll be hearing from today. TECA has quite a process in terms of getting to the point where we are today. And following a very intensive first half of this year where over 70 individuals worked together to develop various kinds of solutions, 10 of the top solutions really progressed to receive a lot more deeper support in the form of cash and very hands-on venture building. And they are the ones presenting to you today. And we're very excited about the progress that they've made over the past 4 or so months that we've been working very closely together. Without further ado, we do have a very tight timeline today in terms of presentations. So I'll switch very quickly to the structure of the flow for today, as well as some ground rules that we can follow. So we do have 10 presentations, and each company will have a roughly 5-minute video presentation that you can listen into. Hannah, our program manager, will be coordinating a lot of these videos. So watch out for her screen share, basically. Tyler, our interim director, will lead you through each of the presentations, followed by about 3 to 4 minutes of live audience Q&A. Please feel free to, raise your hand to ask questions, or use the chat function to post questions there. Our colleague Carmen will be our timekeeper and will let us know when we need to start to transition to the next presentation as well. In the room, we also have a select set of advisors and industry experts, in addition to the investors, who you would have received via email a dedicated link to a scorecard that we really hope that you can help fill for feedback, for additional deeper feedback that each of the founders can review after this event. Given that your experience is paramount, any and all reflections from you would be highly valuable for their growth and benefit. The last piece I'd say is towards the end of the Q&A, the audience, us as together, will receive also a poll that can, help you provide very quick high-level feedback, which we hope you can also fill in. But that's pretty much it for now, and perhaps I can hand the baton to Tyler to take us through the first set of presentations. Thank you again for your time.
Great, thanks, Rasima. Hi, everyone. Great to be here. As Rasima mentioned, I'm the interim TECA Africa director, but also the deputy director for TECA Latam, we'll say. We've just launched our first wave in TECA Mexico, so really excited about that. And I have the honor today of being your MC. So I'm incredibly excited to share with you today's pitches. And as she mentioned, I'm also going to help moderate some of the questions, which you can raise your hand or also put them in the chat. And to kick things off, or kick the show off today, we have the ever-impressive Clinton Obura to pitch Samaking. It's a Kenyan-based company that's a chain of franchisable and tech-enabled fish retail shops.
Hello there, my name is Clinton Obura, founder and CEO of Samaking, At Samaking, the mission is to make fish the #1 protein on every plate, sourced sustainably from thriving fish farmers and fisherfolk. So what's the problem? We see 4 key problems across the fish value chain. The first one is unsustainable fishing and farming practices, limited cold chain, unreliable market linkage, and poor distribution leading to low per capita fish consumption. How do we envision solving these problems? The first thing is sustainable practices. We believe that to make fish the #1 protein on plates, we need to change the way we produce fish and better align people, planet, and profit. Number 2 is cold chain management. We need to find creative ways of bringing cold chain assets to bear. Aggregation and guaranteed offtake. We want to buy all of the fish that our fish farmers and fishermen have produced at a fair and transparent price. Sales and marketing innovations. We're leveraging existing sales channels and building out new ones where necessary to drive more fish consumption through B2B and B2B2C through our franchising retail model. So what is the future we envision and what have we done so far? For the last 7 to 8 months, we've had a huge focus on sales channels, so driving sales through our B2B2C model, our franchise retail stores. So we've set up 2 of them and been doing this in Kenya, in Nairobi. In the next 12 months, we want to focus on diversifying our sales channels as well as directly sourcing from farmers by building out our aggregation platform and model. So essentially, we're building a tech-enabled B2B farm-to-retail fish platform, sourcing fish directly from farmers and fisherfolk, and serving B2B and B2B2C customers. What's the size of the market? The size of the market today is $2.2 billion, projected to quadruple by 2050, driven by population growth and increased fish consumption. In the last 12 or so months, we've learned extensively about the market from primary, secondary, as well as pilots. And we've seen really interesting insights across the value chain. I just touch on a few. 75% of Kenyan consumers buy fried whole fish rather than fresh or uncooked. 84% of fish is supplied by Mama Samaki, or informal market fish trader. And fish farming is still expensive, and for that reason, local communities are not participating, right? Traction. In phase 1 from Q1 of 2024 to now, we focused on validating demand to build out the market and understand consumers. We built out 2 retail stores. Through those 2 retail stores, we have $55,000 of annualized revenue for this year, 1,575 unique customers acquired to date, operationally profitable in our first store. In phase 2, 2025, we want to partner with a small group of farmers and fisherfolk and offer them offtake agreements. Aggregation will allow us to capture an additional 20% margin in our B2B2C model. And for that, we're raising a pre-seed extension of $150,000 in equity. In phase 3, Q4 2025 onwards, we're going to be focusing on franchising on the Samaking brand, partnering with Mama Samakis. We'll franchise the brand in every town and neighborhood, partnering with women and youth. And at the beginning of 2026, in Q1, we'll raise a $1 million seed round. On impact, on the environmental side, the first thing we see that's quite clear is feed conversion ratio. If you think about animal feed as a finite resource, which animal do you want to feed it to? You want to feed it to fish because fish is very efficient at converting that feed to protein weight, lowest carbon footprint, and also from a retail perspective and retail price, fish competes quite favorably with other sources of animal protein. That notwithstanding, we are also really excited about the social impact from like a livelihoods perspective by not only working with fish farmers, but also the Mama Samakis who are an incredible and important part of the value chain. On our financial projections, we're on track to be profitable by 2027 with revenues of $6 million by the end of 2028. Our revenues will grow from $585,000 in 2025 to $9.5 million in 2029, representing 100% compounded annual growth rate over the 5-year period. Funding ask. We're raising $150,000 in equity and $200,000 in grants to establish the aggregation platform and demonstrate the proof points needed to raise a bigger seed round. So Samaking is led by an incredible team. Myself, Clinton, founder, CEO, raised by the Lakeside computer science undergrad, spent the last 12 years in tech working at Google, Uber, a couple of early stage startups. Vincent, head of operations, actuarial scientist, one of the first hires at TECA, and also an amazing crop of advisors and funders. Join us in this journey and mission to revolutionize the fish and aquaculture sector in Kenya. Thank you.
Thanks, Clinton. Great job. So now we're opening for questions. We have about 4 minutes for questions for Clinton. And I would like to collect a couple of questions at a time if possible. So let's start with Serge. Hey, Serge.
Hey everyone, good to be here. Thanks, Clinton, and well done on your progress since I last heard of you. Pretty cool. Well done. I want to better understand how you're navigating a pretty saturated market. Keep it cool, Victory Farms. What's sort of your pathway? I just want to get a bit of insight into that.
Great, thanks, Serge. And Mike?
Yeah, I have a similar question, which is you spoke about the size of the market in billions of dollars, and your turnover in X amount of years is going to be $6 million. I would rather like to see how you're going to get to that $6 million. What is your beachhead market? What is the adjacent market? And so building your market pricing bottom up rather than from a global perspective, especially for a startup. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Mike. And I don't see any other questions right now in the chat or hands raised, so maybe I'll turn it over to Clinton to answer those two questions about the market.
Thank you so much, Tyler. I'll take the first question from Serge first, like regarding the market and the market being pretty saturated. So actually what we see, you'll also be glad to hear we actually collaborate quite well with Keep It Cool. We're actually leasing cold trucks from there. So not competition. Is it competition they call it, right? Not competition. So as far as like we're concerned, like the pie is big enough for everyone to have a slice, right? When you think about like the whole market, the amount of fish that fish farmers or fisher folk are able to bring to bear that is not getting to market is just like a significant amount of fish, right? So if you think about, for example, I could give you an example of Kenya. So in Kenya, for example, for the longest time, fish is sold locally at the point of origin or close to the point of origin, because no one even bothers taking it any further because of cold chain and market linkage inefficiencies and all of that, right? What we are seeing is you can get like a premium price for fish when you get it farther away from its point of origin. So getting it to the major cities. So Nairobi, Nakuru, Eldoret, Kisumu, and all of those. And that is really what we're trying to focus on. Beyond that as well, what I think has been also really interesting for us is if you look at players like Keep It Cool, they've always kept their model at a B2B level. So selling off to big off-takers, essentially. What I think has really surprised us is trying to franchise the retail shops and working with local fish traders, because now we're able to get feedback directly from direct consumers. We're able to do product development. We can do value addition and offer a different level of service to those customers in a way that has not been offered before. So the way we see it is the market is big enough, that's one. And then number two, we're actively trying to pursue different ways of value adding on the product to capture more value and also deliver the products that the customers are looking to find, but they're not currently finding in the market. So that is my answer to that. Then really good question as well from Mike on like the reach or on like the size of the market. There's obviously two ways to size the market. Sorry?
Just quickly, you have about 30 seconds left.
Got you. So the way we think about sort of like bottom up of sizing the market, my ideal sort of like person I'm targeting right now in Kenya is basically your mid-income Kenyan earning about $40,000, living in urban, peri-urban. That's the sweet spot that we're starting from. That's what we're focusing on. And as we bring costs down, we're trying to drop that sort of like tax bracket lower and lower. But we have a very clear income bracket that we're targeting at the moment. And the hope is over time, with economies of scale and more fish available, we can drop that price bracket to make it more available to the masses. So that's how we think about it from a bottom up as opposed to top down. Yeah.
Great, Clinton.
That helps. Yeah.
Thank you for that. If there's any more questions for Clinton, please put that in the chat. And I'm now going to launch the first poll. Great, thank you. Whoever did that, Hannah, thanks for that. So there's 3 questions here, very short, and these will be the same questions for each of the pitches. So one is just how compelling or strong was the pitch? Would you like an intro to the founder? So this is your opportunity to signal if you would like to speak to Clinton. And then also a gift. And so there's some examples there of what we're talking about gifts. So that could be mentorship, advice for the pitch, any type of network connections, cash or investment, I'm sure is very welcome. And so if you could answer those, that would be great. And we will then be transitioning over to next, we will be having Brian Munene, who's representing ARC, also from Kenya. And ARC is unlocking new revenue streams for renewable energy projects by facilitating their entry into and trading of renewable energy certificates. So over to ARC.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brian Munen.
Give me 1 second. Is the audio being heard?
Yeah, I can hear it, Hannah.
Cool.
And I am from ARC. ARC is on a mission to accelerate the adoption of renewable energy in Africa by integrating green projects into global markets. And today, I have the opportunity to walk you through how we get to do this. Now, when I mention green projects, what I am speaking about is such projects as Talek Power that exist in the Masai Mara, utilizing solar panels to provide electricity to 700 households. In fact, they have created 13 green jobs for women who maintain and operate this mini grid. Their children go to school better, their businesses thrive better, simply because Talek Power exists at this specific community area. The problem is, such communities face incredible hurdles when raising their initial investment. Lenders and investors find these projects risky since they take 9 years for payback on equity. The market offers 2 imperfect solutions: value-added services such as internet access, water purification, and cold storage, which they diversify revenue streams, yes, and boost economic growth. However, they are not sufficient enough. Grants and subsidies, they accelerate the growth, but however, create a dependency and bureaucratic environment for these specific mini-grids. Therefore, the market demands for a better solution. Now, the market is huge. As a matter of fact, we have thousands of mini-grid in place and hundreds of thousands more to be implemented in the next 5 years. We foresee a growing demand for our solution. Now, what's the opportunity? The carbon markets promise a very lucrative alternative source of income for these specific projects. They are producing green energy, and although the carbon markets being a complex and inaccessible avenue for such mini-grids, they provide a very great environment for additional revenue for them, making them sustainable and even better when it comes to the investors. Now, let me paint a picture of what that looks like in context. So for a 1 megawatt installation, these credits have the opportunity to boost their revenue generation by 50%. 50%. And this lies at the heart of our solution. And this is why ARC is building what we are building. The carbon markets, in fact, walking this journey solo is quite daunting. From the long paperwork processes, to the rigorous assessment processes, to the heavy compliance processes. But no worry. And this is why ARC is here to help these mini-grids or these community projects. We have developed a one-stop shop that provides seamless integration of such projects into these markets through only but 5 steps. We have broken down months-long processes into a few weeks by breaking them down into 5 steps. We get to register, we get to onboard you, we get to verify and issue you certificates, and eventually created that robust marketplace for you to redeem your certificates for monetary value. In fact, we have created an impact loop where mini-grids continue to decarbonize as they provide clean, reliable, and affordable energy to these local communities. As also, our platform provides an avenue for corporations to support these mini-grid projects as they continue with their mission by purchasing their certificates. Hence, on one side, there is clean energy for local communities, and on the other side, these corporates get to meet their social and sustainable goals. Now, this is the team that backs ARC. Munene's expertise in carbon markets and great mathematical background, Job Karani with his software engineering innovation skills, backed behind by very capable Karen Chalangat innovations strategy and experience, Louis Wajeya's ICT and founding experience, and Doug Miller's rec markets experience and expertise. Now, let us welcome you into our early stages of development. We have managed to be accredited by the global central issuer of these certificates. We have also managed to onboard 4 of our mini-grids from our early adopters, partnered with AMDA and REREC as our distribution partners, and segmented 402 projects ready for these markets. As a matter of fact, our MVP is ready and undergoing internal review, and we are hopeful that as of Q1 2025, we will have a soft launch to introduce it to the market. Today, we are welcoming you to join us in enabling Africa's renewable future, but today. Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks, Brian, on your solution for simplifying the renewable energy marketplace. We'll now turn it over to questions, and like last time, we'll try to collect a couple at a time. And just a reminder to the TECA fellow teams, you're also welcome to have the fellow that didn't pitch respond to questions as well as part of your team. So any questions for the ARC solution? Serene, are you raising your hand? Yeah, go for it.
Sorry, I couldn't find the raise hand button on my screen. I have a question about carbon credits. I think you mentioned carbon credits in there and the accreditation behind that. So could you just expand on whether you are planning to sell on carbon credits and a little bit about the certification that you're getting to sell those? Thank you.
Thanks for that question. And I don't see any other hands raised for the moment. So Brian or Job, you're welcome to respond. Actually, wait, we have Alexi. Promotion.
Hey guys, well done. I just want to know, I mean, similar-ish, I was typing in the chat, but similar-ish to what Saren just asked. The certification, against which standard are you certifying your customers, please?
Great. Over to Brian or Job.
So thank you, Tyler, and thank you, Saren and Alexis, for those 2 incredible questions. So yeah, a little bit about the carbon credits. We have used those words to make it familiar with our audience. However, we are very specific with renewable energy certificates, and the standard we're using is ITRAC Standard Foundation, where we are speaking about international renewable energy certificates. So these are the credits that are specific for production and utilization of renewable energy. Unlike carbon credits, we're speaking about CO2. Here we're speaking about 1 megawatt hour of electricity generated and consumed via renewable energy. And we've essentially been very specific with that approach, especially because of the hurdles that are there within the long processes of, say, BERA or gold standard. And since the main businesses of mini grids is actually just but providing power, why not then find an avenue that supports them as they continue doing their main processes, as compared to carbon credits, which would essentially be carbon credits are our main business of operations, and therefore, so that's why we focused on RECs. And the standard itself is iTrack standard. And we work cordially with the Green Certificate Company, which is the global central issue, and Evident, which is also the registry that gets to track all these certificates that we have within our system. Thank you. We'll be taking any more questions if there are there.
Thanks, Brian, for that very thorough answer. We have about 20 seconds. So Hannah's actually pulling up the poll right now. Same questions as before. And if you do have any additional questions for ARC, please put them in the chat so that Brian or Job can follow up with you. So we'll give a few seconds to, here's the Jurassic Park entry music. We'll give a few seconds to answer the poll. And in the meantime, while we're answering that poll, I would like for our next pitch for us to move over to Mozambique, where we have Domitila representing Bassile, which is a bioswale and planter box solution for mitigating flooding and improving water quality and availability. So while we're finishing up the poll for ARC, I would like to pull up the presentation for Bassile.
Hello, I'm Domitila from Bassile, and I'd like to tell you about one of our co-founders' sister-in-law who lives in a flood-prone area in Maputo. During rainy seasons, her family faces flooding that compromises their mobility, health, and safety. But then during dry seasons, the water supply is often restricted. At Bassile, we address flooding, stagnant water, and stormwater pollution that negatively impact communities, infrastructure, and aquatic ecosystems. Our cities lack adequate drainage infrastructure, and rapid urbanization expands impervious surfaces, which raises runoff volumes. Pollutants and solid waste are washed into the channels, causing obstructions and polluting water bodies. Rainy seasons in Mozambique last up to 6 months, and they cause major damaging impacts. Last rainy season alone affected 96,000 people in Maputo, with financial losses of over $1 million. Bassile designed drainage systems that differ from conventional solutions, which treat water as a problem to quickly be removed from the city. They use pollutant materials that don't filter runoff pollution. Instead, we manage runoff at its source, addressing both water quality and quantity. We're working with two complementary solutions: the bioswale, a linear drainage system that uses plants and biomaterials to manage and filter runoff. We innovate by repurposing solid waste to increase pore space and boost storage capacity. It acts like an underground sponge that absorbs water, preventing it from pooling on the street surface. It costs $840 per meter, and our clients are housing, commercial developments, municipalities, and aid institutions. Our complementary solution is a planter box that targets residential and commercial developments. It intercepts, filters, and stores roof-collected water, reducing runoff and easing drainage systems while enhancing water quality and availability. A 320-liter unit costs $259. Our solutions contribute to climate adaptation, reducing pollution, and building resilience to heavy rains. They mitigate flooding by reducing 30 to 75% of volume runoff and filtering up to 95% of the pollutants. We stand out in a competitive market by offering innovative, locally tailored, and cost-effective nature-based solutions that address critical urban water management challenges while driving climate resilience and community impact through training and job creation. This November, we're launching the Bassile website to showcase our innovative solutions and increase visibility. By December, we'll deliver market-ready planter boxes for pilot testing. For next year, we plan to deploy our two solutions in a pilot project, and we are solidifying strategic partnerships with organizations like Oikos and the Netherlands Embassy to ensure successful project implementation and future scalability. This brings me back to our co-founder sister-in-law, because the project targets Barrio Ferroviario. So hopefully by next year, our team will be proud to say we improved her life and the lives of other 10,000 people as well. Basile's business model plan focuses on delivering sustainable drainage solutions through innovative products like the planter boxes and bioswales, supported by strategic partnerships, targeted marketing strategies, and clear cost structures, and competitive advantages that emphasize local impact and environmental resilience. By 2029, given the exponential growth in demand for our products, we project to have a total profit of $1.3 million from bioswale and planter box. Our partners provide vital support for project implementation, scalability, and impact. Together, we are transforming innovative business ideas into sustainable solutions for communities. We ranked 16 globally in Climate Launchpad, third place in Orange Corners program, and secured funding from BFA Global TECA program. Our ask is $133K US to pilot 220 meters of bioswales and 10 planter boxes in a flood-prone area of Maputo. The funding will support product development, marketing, operational costs, and scaling efforts, enabling us to refine our solutions, build our brand, and expand into new markets for greater impact. Our team has expertise in green infrastructure, business development, environmental studies, and project management. We are passionate about sustainability and innovation, and together we're equipped to transform stormwater management. So join us on this sustainable journey, and we can see the path as clean as water. Thank you.
Great, another great pitch from the Bassile team. So we're open for questions for Kyusha, Domitila, and the rest of the gang. And again, we'd like to collect a couple at a time. Saren, I see that your hand's raised.
Yeah, so my question is about the customer for this. If you could let us know who your target customer is and how you plan to reach them. And I also had a question about the 1.3 million profit. Is that a cumulative profit over the time period, or is that the 1.3 million per year? Yeah, so those are two questions that I had. Thank you.
Great, and then Mike?
Yeah, I've got a question about the concept of the bioswale. In a deluge, say 20 millimeters of rain in a half an hour, how well does that perform? Because I think, you have a lot of tropical storms coming into Maputo, and how well will that perform in those kind of scenarios? And also perhaps the bucket system, is it necessary to have a filtering process in that? There's a lot of runoff catchment systems that catch water from roofs and things like that. Is it still necessary to filter that? Thank you.
Great. I'm gonna actually take those two because we had double whammies from both. We had two questions from each, so I think that's enough for the Bassile team for right now. Over to you guys to answer those questions.
Jumping.
Oh, Kyusha, you're coming in and out. You're on mute right now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, great.
Yes, so sorry about that. So thank you for the questions. Starting from Serin's question, we have slightly different target groups for these different projects. The bioswale is an urban scale solution. So we are working with municipalities, with aid institutions that invest in urban infrastructure here in Mozambique, and embassies that support this kind of projects. Also with residential, the big residential developments for private customers. And then for the planter box, we are focusing on a more on a smaller scale. So we are focusing on residential households and commercial developments that would then invest and leverage this solution that is both a statistical solution and also something that can improve access to water. And we have different strategies for each one. The bioswale is something that we've been working for a longer time, and we've been already reaching out to departments, municipal departments, that raising awareness about these projects. Oh, this is the time. Okay.
Yeah, Kyusha, we're out of time. Yeah, but thanks. So I think that you started to address the customer questions. Maybe you can finish that in the chat. And then just as a reminder, maybe Seren and Mike, you could clarify your questions in the chat, but there was one about the profit amount, and then also questions from Mike around the resilience of the solution in large amounts of rainfall, as well as if it's necessary to have a filter, if there's others that are earlier upstream, so to speak. So any other questions, please add it in the chat for Kyusha and the team. And we've now launched the poll for the pitch feedback. I'm going to give it a little bit more time. I think I've been moving quite quickly with the pitch feedback. So maybe I'll just give a couple of seconds for people to focus on that, and then we'll move to the next pitch. Okay, so I think Hannah will keep that open just a little bit longer so you can respond to the poll. While that's going on, for our next pitch, we will be boomeranging back to Kenya, where we have the energetic Samuel Amondi representing Plas-tech, which is an innovative solution for converting plastic waste to cooking gas.
Imagine a world where plastic waste isn't a problem, but an opportunity. At Plas-tech, we're making that vision a reality. I'm Samuel Omondi, and today I'm excited to share with you how we are transforming plastic waste into clean and affordable cooking fuel for African households. Today, millions of women and children in Kenya spend countless hours cooking with smoky firewood, enduring coughing, burning eyes, and respiratory issues just to prepare a meal. This isn't just inconvenient, it's life-threatening. How? Every year, 23,000 Kenyans die from indoor air pollution alone. And the environmental impact cost is just stuck 5 million trees that are being cut down every single day to provide fuel in the form of firewood and charcoal. The root cause, you might ask, people lack access to affordable and clean cooking alternatives. Now you might ask, don't we already have existing solutions to this? LPG and electricity are clean, but too costly for families. Biogas, on the other hand, is more affordable, but impractical in urban areas. Existing options don't solve the critical challenge of accessibility and affordability for the average Kenyan. While most families struggle with cooking fuel, we are facing another massive challenge: plastic waste. Kenya generates over 4,400 tons of plastic waste daily, most of which end up in our landfills and our waterways. But what if this waste was turned into a solution? And that's where Plas-tech comes in. We convert plastic waste into clean cooking gas using a process called pyrolysis. Think of it as melting plastic waste in a controlled, oxygen-free environment to produce cooking gas. This method is proven, safe, and used globally for waste-to-energy projects. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, is this safe? Let me be clear, this is not burning plastic waste in open air. We're using proven, controlled technology that's already being successfully implemented around the world. In Singapore, for instance, they're using a similar technology to convert a plastic waste into electricity. And right here in Nairobi, Megagas are already using pyrolysis technology for cooking gas production. We have the unique opportunity of being fast movers at the Kenyan coast where we operate. To put this opportunity into perspective, our target market includes 420,000 Kenyan households in Mombasa, spending over 50.4 billion annually on cooking fuel. Our cooking gas cylinder is 40% cheaper than traditional LPG. And through a subscription model, families can cook for just 50 cents a day. These aren't just numbers, they are families ready for a better solution. We focus on driving rapid adoption by targeting key customer segments, establishing strategic distribution channels, and forming impactful partnerships. We'll start with partnering with high energy consuming institutions and communities like schools. This is to demonstrate the benefit of our solution on a larger scale. And to ensure consistent supply of our plastic waste, we'll collaborate with companies in recycling and waste management, like we're already doing at the moment. We are also prioritizing community outreach through workshops and educational campaigns to build trust and brand visibility. Now, our impact is clear: reducing deforestation, preventing plastic from being burnt in landfills, and cutting household emissions. This is a circular economy in action. We came together at the Mombasa Plastics Prize Competition, united by a shared mission to tackle plastic waste in the Indian Ocean. Robin and Abosama bring together a deep environmental science expertise. Zubeda's public health background ensures our solution benefits community well-being. With my software engineering background, we integrate innovative technology into everything we do. And our world-class advisors, Dr. Ali Shea, with a PhD in chemistry, advises us on industrial chemistry, and Melanie Keita, a Forbes 30 under 30 entrepreneur. We have the perfect mix of technical, community, and business expertise to scale this solution. Let me show you our momentum. We've moved fast from problem validation in early 2023 to a promising prototype by May 2023. Now, we are setting up our pilot facility and we've raised over $70,000 in funding. Soon, we will be launching our pilot facility and we'll invite you guys definitely. I started this speech with the story of families struggling with cooking fuel. Today, one of our early users, a grandma, is cooking safely and affordably thanks to our solution. This is more than a business. It's a mission to improve lives. Join us in Fueling Africa, one home at a time. Thank you.
Great. That was Plas-tech and Samuel and the team. And so we now have time for questions. We have, at the same exact time, we have Sarah and Mike raising hands. So Sarah, do you want to go? And then afterwards, Mike?
Sure, I can go quickly. The subscription fee was 50 cents per day. I just wanted to ask if that fee is enough to justify the cost. It seems quite low, and the process to make the fuel seems quite capital intensive, labor intensive. Yeah, so my question is around the price that you're selling, and is it enough to justify the cost? Thank you.
Thanks, Saren. And Mike?
Are you using existing gas bottles or gas containers, or are you trying to supply those as well? Because I know it's a segmented market. One should focus on the gas itself and not try and sell bottles. So I presume you're going to be recycling the bottles from LPG.
Great. Thanks, Mike. And then I also see a question from Alexi, which is, have you worked out your optimal point of manufacturing, i.e. how much plastic per plant? And so that's, I think, a good 3 questions. I'll turn it over to the Plas-tech team.
Okay, thank you for the question. Hi, my name is Samuel Omondi, and for the subscription model, we do realize that most of our users can't afford the normal LPG, and most of them are hustlers. They earn and spend. They earn, let's say, $2 or $3 a day, and they're willing to spend a fraction of it. So the reason why we went to that subscription model through the community kitchen is to allow them to come and cook in our facility so that they can be able to pay as they go, like on a day-to-day basis. And in terms of, is it sustainable for us financially? Yes, because we are transferring the value of economies of scale. We have established that we can produce a kg of cooking gas for just 50 to 80 Kenyan shillings, which is 50 cents. And the moment we produce in large amounts, we can be able to transfer this benefit to our users who can't afford the normal cooking gas. Hence why we started exactly. And to our next question, which was, are we using existing cylinders, cooking gas cylinders? That's a tricky situation for us at the moment, because there are some regulations that go with us commercializing and going to sell to households, in the sense that we have to have 5,000 cylinders to sell through to households. That's why we're looking at different avenues, in the sense that we are creating avenues like community kitchens where people can come and cook from our facility, and also partnering with institutions who don't need to purchase the cooking gas cylinders. At the moment, we have an inquiry of a community in Nandi County here in Kenya who want our technology, so that we can be able to serve a community that doesn't have access to clean cooking. So there are various avenues we are pursuing before we go the commercial route of selling those cylinders in households, because it's a bit expensive at the moment. And finally, we have achieved an optimal. If I could get the question again, Tyler, sorry. The one in the chat.
Yeah, the last one, actually perfect timing there. So there's one
I'll answer in the chat.
Yeah, there's one from Alexi in the chat, and then there's also a question there from Ivy that's aimed at you.
Okay, sure. I'll answer both in the chat. Thank you.
No problem. And again, we have the poll that's popped up for the Plas-tech team. I'll give about 30 seconds for quiet response time. And then Hannah will leave the poll open into the next video a little bit until we stop getting responses. So we hope we haven't been cutting anybody off.
Hello.
Great.
I am Sunday Kolau.
Thanks, Hannah. So next we're going to scoot over to Nigeria, where we have the charming Sunday, who's pitching for Junkyard. And Junkyard's a digital platform that enables waste collectors to collect and manage recyclable waste effectively and efficiently.
I am the co-founder and the CEO of Junkyard. As Junkyard, we help recycling companies track, manage, and grow their recycling businesses and make it a profitable venture. A little bit about us. Junkyard is a climate tech enterprise. We leverage our own technology to bridge the value gap that exists between collectors, formal and informal, and the citizens along the value chain of waste recycling and circular economic ecosystem. Our enterprise aligns with SDG Goals 3, Goal 6, 11, 12, and 13. As of today, Nigeria is the 9th highest contributor to plastic pollution globally. And much of Nigeria waste ends up in landfills, drainages, water bodies, causing extensive environmental damage and health risk. As a collector myself, in a couple of years ago, I have lost money, I have lost time, I have lost resources, simply because my operations were not optimized. And during our market research, we discovered that we were not the only one facing that issue. Actually, 80% of recycling businesses in Nigeria manage their operations manually, leading to inefficiency, increased costs, loss of capital, and reduced profitability. We have built a platform called Junkyard. Junkyard provides a digital platform, web and mobile app, which helps collectors, aggregators, and recycling companies streamline their operations, track recyclable waste collection, manage inventory, and offer valuable data insight to increase profitability. We have a mobile app, we have a web app, and we have a dashboard. We are serving for collectors, aggregators, and recycling companies, both formal and informal. Also, we're also targeting millennials and Gen Z. We make money based option fees from collectors, bear commission, corporate partnership, and plastic credits. What makes us stand out among a competitor is one, inclusiveness. Our platform has the ability to collect all types of recyclable waste. Two, our platform allows for picture evidence of waste to be collected. And three, our platform allows for auto scheduler for waste pickup and drop off. And finally, our platform allows for auto incentive payment, meaning payments are never delayed for any customers. At the moment you're using our platform, you get your money instantly, which brings credibility to the platform. In a couple of months that we have launched, we are able to complete our web and mobile app. Also, we are able to onboard 20 collectors in Lagos. And in the next couple of 1 year, we are hoping to have our pre-seed funding where we're able to onboard more customers and increase our revenue generation. According to Statista, the global plastic waste market is valued at $46.60 billion US and is growing at a CAGR of 4.9% annually, meaning by 2030, the global waste management industry sector will be worth $1.61 trillion US, while the Nigerian waste management industry sector is worth $100 billion US. And according to KPMG, the plastic value chain in Nigeria is worth $40 billion US, meaning our total addressable market is $40 billion US. In Africa, waste constitutes 80% of the carbon footprint, surpassing global averages, with 19 of the world's 58 biggest dump sites located in sub-Saharan Africa, Nigeria inclusive. As of today, we have been able to collect 2,604 kg of plastics on our platform, which is the equivalent to saving 7,291.2 kg of CO2 emissions have been saved. Meaning if we have more funding, with your support and donations, we'll be able to do more and save more CO2 emission from going into the environment. Here's our team. Myself, Sunday Kola Olusolanke, and I have over 5 years experience in the sector, and we have Adewale Badmus, who is our CMO, who also have over 7 years experience in the sector, and we have Benson Momodu, who is our CTO, who manages all our platform, built and developed all our systems in-house. Here's our ask, $250,000 US to continuously build our product for operations, marketing, and digital asset management. In conclusion, recycling business is a profitable venture if its daily operations are properly and effectively managed through the use of technology. Thank you.
Thanks, Sunday and the Junkyard team. Any questions for Junkyard? I'll take a couple at a time. See some applause from Tando. Claire.
Hi. Yeah, thanks. Very, very interesting and certainly huge volumes. I'd like to understand a little bit more about the receivers of the recycling and their processes. I think in order to quantify the climate impact, it's good to understand the system that you're feeding into there, and the partnerships that you've developed perhaps there.
Great, thanks, Claire. Let's start there, Sunday, and then let's see as more questions trickle in.
Okay, so please, can you, Tyler, can you please repeat the question? I can't get that very clear.
Okay, Claire, would you mind clarifying your question?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I'd like to understand a little bit more about the ecosystem of recyclers. You know, the purchases of the huge volumes of waste, and how they're managed, and how many partners you've managed to secure in order to onboard on your platform.
Okay, that's great. So the ecosystem is very huge in Nigeria, and as of today, Nigeria does 5.96 million tons of plastic waste annually, and 8% of that plastic waste is still collected. So meaning we have over 80% of that plastic waste non-collected, ending up in oceans and on the street and on the gutters. So that's why whenever it rains in Nigeria, you always have flooding issues. The cities are always blocked because the seaways are always blocked and everywhere. And some that are not blocked, they are burnt, where they release CO2 emissions into the atmosphere, which causes the global warming as speaks now. So that today, when we launched a couple of months ago, we've onboarded 25 partners today on our platform currently. And that is for customers who are using the platform, and we have some of them are even paying customers already. And currently, we're also talking to other partners in the sector, like big multinationals who are actually the beverage companies, talk to them to also partner with us and see how we can deliver this value to other players in the sector as well too. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, I see a nod from Claire. Thanks, Sunday.
Yeah.
Any other questions for the Junkyard team? I will check the chat as well. And if not, Sunday, you get the beautiful gift of a minute of sharing anything additional that you want to share.
Okay. Essentially, what we are looking for is your to build more, because every day we talk to customers and thank for the support of TECA with the advice they gave us, Mr. Nomso, who has been very helpful. And live with me, able to onboard more. And the beauty for us is the moment we can do this in Nigeria, we can scale outside Nigeria to Ghana, Kenya, and outside Nigeria itself. And the beauty is the solution can be scaled around the whole world. So it's the solution that we use around the whole world if we're able to get our solutions very, very quickly. And I am more on ground, we're able to do more and deliver more value together. Thank you.
Thanks, Sunday. And so Hannah has already pulled up the poll for Sunday. We'll give that a couple of seconds for people to respond to. Or rather, I should say Sunday and the team, the Junkyard team, not just Sunday. And as we're responding to that poll, next on board, we have the very international Altruistech team representing from Sierra Leone, Ghana, Kenya, and Rwanda. And they'll be pitching their all-in-one digital environmental metrics monitoring device.
Hi, we are Altruistech, and welcome to our presentation. Now imagine being a manufacturing industry owner in Rwanda, a place where your work have accounted for over 47% of the total death in the last 5 years. Yet, you couldn't deny these statistics because, according to the government, the data on your annual environmental monitoring report is 79% inaccurate. This compelled the government to slash a fine of $100,000 or 7 years jail term on any manufacturing industry or businesses that fails to present accurate annual environmental monitoring report. These have left many businesses sweating in Rwanda, as their one leg is at the prison gate and the other leg is at the government offices paying fines for problems that could be avoided. For more understanding, kindly take a look at this video to understand what we are building and also how far we have come.
In today's world, industries must be proactive in monitoring and managing their environmental impact. Real-time data on emissions, noise, and pollution levels helps facilities stay compliant and reduce their footprint. Introducing SAVE, an innovative automated system revolutionizing environmental protection. Using cutting-edge robots, electronic devices, advanced sensors, and AI-powered algorithms, SAVE delivers precise real-time tracking and management of environmental impacts, setting a new standard for sustainability. At the heart of SAVE is this compact, intelligent device equipped with state-of-the-art sensors. It constantly measures critical environmental metrics such as emissions, CO2 levels, noise pollution, and water quality. These sensors collect and transmit data, which is then processed by an AI-powered analytics tool, making sense of complex information in real time. With the SAVE mobile app, real-time updates are at your fingertips. You can monitor all key metrics directly from your device wherever you are. The app provides a clear, user-friendly interface, giving you access to instant reports and allowing you to set custom alerts for critical thresholds. If pollution levels exceed safe limits, you'll know right away. No delays. SAVE's solution goes beyond just data collection. Powered by AI, it transforms raw data into actionable insights. By analyzing both historical and real-time data, the system identifies trends and generates instant downloadable reports, enabling informed decision-making for better environmental management. With this comprehensive dashboard, managers can track key performance indicators, ensuring long-term compliance and environmental stewardship. SAVE empowers industries to meet compliance standards, achieve sustainability goals, and minimize environmental impact.
Remember, the problem we're solving here is the use of outdated monitoring frameworks and tools for manufacturing industries to manage their contributions to environmental pollution. And this problem is being faced by almost every manufacturing industries and EIA companies across the world. But we are focusing on Africa and Rwanda to be specific. Aside from the strict environmental laws in Rwanda, this market is worth over $1 billion and it is made up of over 200 EIA companies and over 50 manufacturing industries. We will be scaling to Kenya and Ghana moving forward. So far, we have reached one manufacturing industries and 2 EIA companies in Rwanda, and also we have engaged the Rwanda Environmental Management Authority. Since September, we have developed the first version of our prototype, tested it with the government institution for approval, and we are also currently piloting with 1 manufacturing industry and 2 EIA companies. We also have a mobile application available that is being tested by users. And remember, we are being supported by well-recognized and reputable institutions from across the world, such as the World Bank, the Climate Collective, BFA Goldberg, and FSD Africa. To upgrade our solution, we are asking for technical expertise to help develop our AI model and also more partners that can help us collect more data. For example, we are seeking recommendations to manufacturing industries and EIA companies. And we are also looking for recommendations that can give our solution accreditation by global environmental bodies. Imagine in Africa, we are compliance with environmental safety policy. It's not a burden, but an encouraging activity. That is the vision our team filled with experts is building. And our expertise ranges from IoT development, robotics engineering, environmental science, forestry management, and environmental impact assessment consulting. And together, we have a combined 29 years of experience in this space that we are working in. This shows that we are capable of building this particular solution, which is why we are calling on everybody on this call to join us on this amazing journey as we seek to enhance compliance with environmental safety policy, one industry at a time. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks, Abdul, and thanks to the Altruistech team. I have to say the video was a nice surprise for me. I haven't seen that yet, and that was great. So I'll turn it over to the audience for questions for Abdul, the rest of the Altruistech team. Alexi, and then Mike.
Well done, guys. I actually posted a question in the chat. I want to know if this, with these little bots, robots that are going around on those four wheels, are they collecting data where it matters the most, where the regulator would also collect its data, or each environmental health and safety good practice would recommend collecting the data?
Thanks, Alexi. Mike, and then Saren.
Yeah, my question is related to that because, the actual collection of the information, the devices, the tools that you're going to implement in the factory to collect the air samples, water samples, all those kind of devices, you skipped over that part of the presentation, and you can't have data without the collection somewhere, somehow. And I think the previous question was really valid to that as well.
Thanks, Mike. Saren?
A quick one from me. Have you guys done a analysis of competitors, and how do you guys have an advantage over other people in your field? Thank you.
Thanks, Saren. We'll pause there for questions, and I'll turn it over to the Altruistech team.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Tyler. So for the first question, posted by Alexis.
Oh, Abdul, you're a little bit soft. I don't know if it's just the projection or your mic. So if you could just...
Can you hear me now, yeah?
Yeah, that's a bit better. Thanks.
For the first question asked by Alexis, if the sensors are collecting the data at a point. So we are collecting the data that has been approved by the Rwanda Environmental Management Authority. And aside from the wide range of parameters that they're looking at, they have key priorities that the government is looking at. So, for example, the one that we are testing currently is the box. The box is being staged during the testing phase. We station it at a specific location in the particular industry, and we also ensure that 5 of the government parameters that they are focused on, we are able to collect them. So now in the area of how do we collect the data, as I said, we station the box in one location during the testing phase, because we're also trying to know what's the accuracy of the data that we are collecting. That part we are currently working on to determine the accuracy, but it was stationed at one location, the most centered parts in one of the industries that we tested with. You understand? Then now to the question that's asked about the competitors, I'll leave Ghazali to answer that question. Ghazali,
yeah, thank you, Abdul. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, so regarding our competitors, we have also identified Ecometrics Africa, who are also into this EIA business, but then they are currently located only in South Africa, and their major focus has been on the greenhouse gas emission measurement and also carbon financing. So they are sort of limited as compared to ours, that we are collecting about 8 to 10 million. We are open to expanding more.
Can you hear me? Unfortunately, we're out of time. But please continue answering that question in the chat, because I know that you have more to share about that. And I would also like to flag, I think Abdul, you're already on it, but there were a couple additional questions in the chat as well. So thank you, Altruistech team. Thanks, Ghazali. Thank you, Abdul. We've now pulled up the poll for Altruistech. And again, I'll give it a couple of seconds before we move on to the next pitch. Great. So we now float over to the beautiful island of Madagascar to hear a pitch from the lovely Mada Fia team. And Mada Fia is leveraging himono, I hope I pronounced that right, which is a traditional Japanese fish drying and smoking technique to create sustainable fish value chains.
Hello everyone, my name is Daniela and I am the CEO of Mada Fia. With 9 years of experience in business management and a lifetime of connection to Madagascar fishing communities, I stand here not just as an entrepreneur but a daughter of a fisher. This deep-rooted connection is the heartbeat of my commitment to fostering sustainable social change in the blue economy sector. Over the years, I have worked alongside fishing communities across 7 regions of Madagascar, and now I am proud to extend the collaboration to Junkyard. While many see post-harvest loss as a setback, I see an opportunity to transform waste into value, drive economic development for my country, and create a sustainable venture that benefits all. This vision is what fuels Mada Fia mission, from ocean to table, with care for tomorrow. Madagascar, renowned for its diverse seafood, faces a paradox. While seafood is a cultural treasure, over 300,000 tourists and countless local business struggle to find high-quality dried fish. This root causes issue in the supply chain and inadequate processing method that compromise quality. Our field interview with fishing communities and markets visit confirm these pressing issues. At Mada Fia, we have crafted a solution inspired by Japanese himono drying techniques. We preserve fish in a way that maintain its nutritional value and extend its shelf life. Twice a week, fresh fish sourced directly from local fishermen and cleaned, marinated with tropical seasoning, and dried using both natural warm air and advanced dehydration method. This dual process ensures exceptional quality with flavors and durability, packaged under a distinguished brand, and that encapsulate the essence of Madagascar. Despite it being in the seed phase, we have significant steps. We're partnering with Force Fishermen Association in Junkyard and are set to finalize by the end of November. We have conducted extensive project testing and gathered invaluable feedback. We're refining our product categories and have placed an order for a state-of-the-art dehydration machine scheduled to arrive by December. The opportunity is enormous. The Western Indian Ocean seafood market is valued at $80 million annually, with Madagascar contributing $15 million, while Junkyard and Antananarivo alone represent a $5 million market. Our ambitions extend beyond local impact. We're not only improving food security, but also adapting sustainable practice that enhance the resilience of seafood industry. By reducing post-harvest loss, we support biodiversity and help mitigate overfishing, while also minimize food waste to lower our carbon footprint. Our strength lies in our shared passion and collective expertise in the blue economy. I am proud to be joined by an exceptional team dedicated to driving Mada Fia's mission forward. Ma'am, our COO, is specialist in the blue economy with master degree in fisheries and aquaculture management. Based in Junkyard, she brings invaluable on-the-ground insight and leadership to daily operation, ensure we meet performance goals and engage effectively with local partners. Julia, our CFO, adds unmatched experience with over 20 years in fisheries governance and public management, having worked extensively with Madagascar Ministry of Fisheries and Blue Economy. A strategic oversight in financial planning and product development strengthen our markets, position and commitment to sustainable practice. Together, the three of us form a bold, dedicated team. Our combined expertise and unwavering commitment to blue economy makes us the best team to lead this venture to success. And with your support, Mada Fia can scale its impact, harness untapped market, and build a resilient, eco-friendly future for Madagascar seafood industry. Thank you for your time and believe in a sustainable.
Great. So we have the Mada Fia team, and we'll be collecting a couple of questions for them. I see Ronnie quick to raise her hand.
Hi. Really great presentation, Daniela. Thank you so much. I have two questions. The first one is regarding your end customer, which wasn't very clear. Are you selling to businesses or are you selling directly to customers? And how are you planning to do that? Do you already have distribution channels in place? So that's my my first question. And the other one was relating to your promotion of sustainable fishing kind of methods, because you've mentioned that, you know, you're trying to promote biodiversity and to promote sustainable fisheries. How are you actually doing that? Do you engage directly with fishermen, you know, on the onset and then educating them, training them? I'd love to hear more about that. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for the question, Ronnie. Hello everyone. For the first questions about the customers, we have two channels. The first channel is the mass marketing that we sell in detail with all the population in Madagascar by social media. And then the second channel is the luxury market, where we use B2B with the restaurant and the catering. And I forget, for the first channel, we plan to work with the supermarket also. And for the second question about the sustainability, as now the situation of the fisheries in the village where we worked, there are many laws. So because the fishermen doesn't know how to add value their products, and there are many laws. So to like avoid these laws, we work directly with the fisher with the so we form a group of fisher as a cooperative, and then yes, at the beginning we give a training for them. And beside the marketing side, we plan to do the capacity building on how to avoid loss, and on how to for the marine ecosystems protection about the planting mangroves, and only for the planting mangroves no, but for the future we don't know yet, but we are stick on it.
Thanks, Daniela. So we have a question from Serge.
Thanks so much, Ronnie. Actually, I asked my question.
We have 1 minute left, FYI.
So I had to think of another one. Daniela, my understanding is that a lot of the fish drying and post-harvest processing is done by fisherwomen in the communities. Do you foresee a stage at a particular scale where these fisherwomen can adopt your techniques and be your suppliers of the product?
So because of the time, I didn't explain in my presentation that we promote genders. So in our processing steps, we will hire a woman, the fisherwoman, or the wife of a fisher in the first steps. But then when we developed, because now our capacity in the capital you have less. So in the future we will see the side where we work closely with the fishermen. But now in the cooperative there are only the fishermen, but they work with their wife. So that's that.
Thanks, Daniela. And if there's any more that you want to add to that answer, or any clarification that you want, Serge, feel free to put that in the chat. I'll also flag that there's 3 additional questions for the Mada Fia team, as well as a comment from Barca. So please point your attention there when you have the time. We've now launched the poll for Mada Fia, so to fill that out. And as you're filling that out, we're gonna transition to the next pitch. So we're gonna be moving a little bit northwest from Madagascar to find ourselves in Tanzania, where we have the ever passionate Shamim pitching Sunwave, which is a company providing innovative solar ice machines for fisher folk and sellers.
Greetings. We are Sunwave Limited, where the sun meets innovation, a venture support of TECA, a venture launcher under BFA Global. My name is Shamim, and today I'm excited to share with you our innovative solution aimed at revolutionizing the fishing industry in my country, Tanzania. Let's start with a typical scene at a fish market where a fish seller uses ice to keep her fish fresh and maintain the value of her catch. This simple but effective method highlights the critical role of ice in preserving fish and reducing post-harvest losses. However, this is not the case for Tanzania's fishers and sellers. They fail to maintain the value of their catch, ending up selling it at very low prices or discarding it. Small-scale fishers and sellers in Tanzania face significant challenges with up to 70% post-harvest losses. Main issues including inadequate ice supply, indigenous cold storage, and poor handling practices. These factors contribute to income insecurity and reduce profits for millions of people. According to our surveys and interviews at the fish markets, 85% of respondents expressed difficulties in consistently obtaining ice, while 90% showed willingness to adopt a solution that improves fish preservation. Current alternatives include indigenous cold storage, crushed ice from big blocks, and ice in plastic bags known as kandoro. While each has its pros such as ease of maintenance for the indigenous storage, they also have significant cons like shorter preservation periods and limited supply, especially for kandoro. Fishing is a critical livelihood for over 200,000 Tanzanians directly and 4.5 million indirectly. However, the sector faces significant economic losses amounting to $700 million in losses for small-scale fishers and sellers. This worsens income insecurity and threatens sustainability. ICE can transform this industry, with the market potential exceeding $18.7 million annually. Investing in the ICE infrastructure addresses these losses and taps into this substantial opportunity. Our solution is to offer solar-powered ice machines to small-scale fishers and sellers as a service. This will help them preserve their catch and access markets more efficiently. By leveraging solar energy, we are providing sustainable and reliable ice production independent of the grid, addressing post-harvest losses even in remote areas. SunPesa is our custom point of sale solution that allows our customers to perform digital payments at the ice machine station, facilitating data collection on the users and sales. And of course, Sunwave's business model integrates key stakeholders to deliver reliable, affordable flaked ice to the market. We source high-quality ice-making machines from manufacturers like BLO, TechnoShave, and Thermo Design, powered by solar energy supplied by partners such as Euronet, Samaking, and Natcan. Quality water from private suppliers ensures food-grade ice production. And of course, our distribution is streamlined through borders who deliver ice efficiently to fish folk and other market vendors. Our solution is geared to address climate change. Of course, as temperatures continue to rise, better storage becomes crucial. Solar-powered ice making reduces emissions and helps prevent overfishing by preserving the current catch. This contributes to food security and improved livelihoods. Our journey has been action-packed, starting with company incorporation and finishing all the legalities, ordering our ice machine, user interviews and research in mid-September, engaging 34 users in Bagamoyo. By mid-October, we refined prototypes and tested them, leading to hardware acquisition and site setup in November. In December, we are gearing up for our funding round to scale operations. Behind this innovative solution is our dedicated team. I, Shamim, the CEO, experiences sustainable blue economy, climate finance, and international policies, having fundraised $300,000 for Made by Africraft in 2021, and Ridwan, our CTO, who is experienced in software development, data science, and computational chemistry, having developed the Mapping app used by thousands of students in Smart TECA, being adopted by PetPro. Together, we are committed to making a positive impact on the fishing industry in our country. Join the wave and let's together transform the fishing industry in Tanzania. For more information, contact us via email or LinkedIn. Thank you.
Okay, so that was Shamim from Sunwave. And we are now open for questions, and I believe we have Ridwan on the line. I'm getting some applause from Alexi. Odd. Oh, you're
Yeah,
on mute.
hi there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting to propose this as a service as opposed to just merely just selling off these machines. As you know, this is what's been happening on the ground along the coastlines of both Kenya and Tanzania. So great idea. My question is, how do you secure your assets? You know, how do you make sure that you don't lose out on your capital on the assets themselves? And in the event that something does happen, you know, what's your recourse?
Thanks, Fad. I'm just going to check we have Mike. Mike, do you want to share a question?
Yeah, I'm curious as to why you're choosing to get into the ice business. I would have thought that dry ice would have been a much better proposition, cleaner, it's more durable. But anyway, it's just a question.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mike. Let's start there, Ridwan. So you had a question about securing your asset, and then also why not dry ice?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tyler. Thank you, Mike and Fahad. So in terms of securing our assets, we have installed a very simple camera that will be a deterrent to any kind of theft that is to happen, because people, of course, they'll try to steal some parts of the machine on that. So the camera will be the first deterrent, and you can control it remotely. So you install Wi-Fi, you have solar, electricity is available all the time, and you see any movement that happens there, and you can set it to whatever settings that you want. That is one. Secondly, we'll be taking out insurance with Jubilee. So we're discussing Jubilee, Phoenix. These are the two companies that can secure our assets. So if anything happens, then we will be able to get a valid claim from them. And from Mike, we did consider dry ice as part of the solution. But then again, as dry ice is very expensive to produce, well, we've seen there are some few companies that are doing it here in Tanzania, very expensive to produce, and it will not be affordable for the small-scale fishers. They will not be able to afford any amount of dry ice to be able to store the fish. That's why we went with non-ice. But we can consider that later on as it gets cheaper and cheaper in production.
Great, thanks, Ridwan. We have 40 seconds left. Fad, I see your hand is up again. Did you want to share something?
Yeah, you're gonna move that insurance cost component. You're gonna add that to the overall leasing cost to whoever's going to be using that the item itself. So have you done an affordability analysis and a risk analysis to determine if this is something that is financially feasible based off of that component? It's going to be expensive. You're not insuring a car. You're insuring a very specialized asset that will probably be used by vulnerable people and people who just don't understand a lot, maybe about how to manage and take care of these devices. So what's your take?
Thank you so much, Fahad. I think I'll take that on the chat.
Great, thanks, Ridwan. And there's actually a couple more questions for you there, as well as a suggestion from Marika.
Thank you.
So we pulled up the poll for Sunwave. So if everyone could take a minute to fill out those poll questions. Okay, great. So now we will move over to Tanzania's neighbor, Rwanda, where we have the triple threat full female co-founding team of Lima Aja. And Lima Aja is connecting agribusinesses to reliable, fairly priced smallholder produce with a seamless aggregation, logistics, and market-driven insight software platform.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Millicent Malinga, and I'm from Team Lima Aja. I'd like to tell you a story about Iriza, a smallholder farmer in the southern province of Rwanda, where our journey begins. We met Iriza during one of our market research. We were so convinced that one of her biggest problems was her soil health. We believed that if we could help her through this, she would be able to make all the money her farm can give her. But upon conversations with farmers like Iriza, we came to understand that smallholder farmers in Rwanda suffer the most from access to market. And we began to ask ourselves, what is the reason for these smallholder farmers failing to access market, even though there are a number of agro-processors and wholesale buyers who could buy their produce at any given time? Now, these big companies do not have time to go around looking for small-scale farmers like Iriza, with 64 of them saying that they don't have suitable brokers or intermediaries to assist them with this. So they suffer now with issues such as delivery, they cannot meet their demand, and the quality of produce they sometimes get on the market is very poor, and they end up failing to meet their produce. So what do they do to mitigate some of these risks? Well, some of them, like Soko farms, own their own farms and cooperatives. Some now deal with commercial agents, and others just take part in outgrow models or search for the produce they need in the main market. This does not really help them much because they sometimes experience very high prices, excessive shipping costs, and inconsistent supply and quality. So what can we do? Well, Lima Aja is connecting these agribusinesses to reliable, fairly priced smallholder produce with a seamless aggregation, logistics, and market-driven insights software platform. For someone like Iriza, she belongs to one of 2,700 agricultural cooperatives in Rwanda. She would be having access to over 1,400 trade cooperatives registered in Rwanda and over 45 horticulture export trade companies registered also with the Rwandan Development. But how can Iriza be able to sell her produce? Well, she will register on the platform by sharing all her information, including her cooperative information. And then she can upload the available produce, including harvest timing and quality, be able to view price analytics, and then receive her payment when her produce has been bought, and be able to also rate the transport company. For a company owner who's seeking quality produce, they're able to find Iriza's produce much easier. And once they choose this, they make a secure payment on our mobile money payment platform and be able to track their produce in real time until it arrives to them, where they'll be able to rate the transport and Iriza's produce. But how are we making money? Well, we'll make money by collecting a transaction fee every time the wholesalers make a purchase. We'll also be able to make money from the transport companies as we give them jobs to transport produce from one place to another. We're also seeking to make money from selling the data over the years to government agencies as well as data analytics for these organizations that we work with. Lima Aja is not working alone. We are currently working with RDB, where we're collecting the client sheet that we need to do deeper user research. We're already talking to cooperative managers, transport companies, and seek to form relations with government agencies to better propel our plan to success. We seek to bring adaptation by increasing and stabilizing farmer income, biodiversity by showcasing and celebrating cooperatives that are into conservation, restoration, and soil health. Because our system focuses on streamlining transport, we ensure that we reduce unneeded carbon emissions. But who can do this? Well, we have a dream team. 7 years of entrepreneurship and community engagement, 4+ years of data science and IoT development, plus 5 years of analysis and research. But if you're not yet convinced, we also have a team of advisors who would keep us in line. We have climate venture builders, a random agronomist, business advisors, and even engineers in our team. But what have we done so far? We've completed solution ideation, market research, farmer cooperative research, and even collaborated with RDB to get deeper into user research, which we're currently engaged in. We're also onboarding a software developer and a designer with the hopes that we'll be able to bring a prototype to market by early January 2025, do users testing in February of 2025, and complete our MVP iteration by the end of April 2025. To do all this, we're asking for at least $75,000 US. We hope you'll join us in this journey where we're cultivating futures and connecting farmers. Thank you.
Thank you, Millicent, and thanks to the Lima Aja team. Open to questions. I'll also check the chat. Mike, thanks.
Maybe a question for you. I see you've changed your hairstyle since then.
I have, yes. Thanks for that, Mike. We have a comment from Zared as well for Millicent to look at Kula in South Africa and Komako in Zambia. So actually, thanks for that, Serge, because I don't think that we've come across those two yet. Millicent?
Hi, Tyler. Thank you. Actually, I've seen Kula. I believe it's the one for cattle, if I'm not mistaken. So I've seen that one, but I'm yet to check it out again, just to be sure if it's not the. But thank you, Serge.
Great. We have a question from Barca that says, how do you ensure initial critical mass and uptake of the service? Did you catch that, Millicent, or the rest of the Lima Aja team?
I think for me, I'd like for Barca to elaborate, especially, yeah. I don't know, maybe Chinea got it.
Barca, if you don't mind, maybe just elaborating a little bit on your question for them.
Yes, sure. Just very quickly, I wanted to know, how do you ensure that a lot of people sign on to the service from the start? There's one potential kind of challenge that could arise is having not enough people who sign on to it to then mobilize enough uptake of the service. So wondering how you might plan to get around that.
Okay, so thank you, Barca. By the sign-ups that you're talking about, is it in this line with the farmers alone or even with the businesses?
With the business.
Oh, okay. So what we've currently done is reach out to the Rwanda Development Board. We're waiting for a list of their currently existing registered agro-processors and wholesalers so that we could get in touch with them like on a one-on-one. Because we tried the, I'd say, online marketing route, and we realized that as much as Rwanda is very open to technology, there's still that need to have those personal conversations with companies. So our first step would be to engage definitely with the buyers of the individual companies that are within the Kigali area, so we could get as many people as possible. But at the same time, I believe these companies would require the assurance of the existence of produce. So, well, time. So I'll finish up my answer in the chat.
Yeah, thanks, Millicent. I think that the relationship that you guys have with the Rwandan Development Board is very important. So if you want to elaborate on that, that's great. And then we also have a question from Wiseman that's saying, how do you ensure quality of the product is maintained throughout the process? So thanks for those questions. We've just pulled up the poll for Lima Aja. So we'll take a couple of seconds here. Great. So I think that we've been extremely efficient with time, which is wonderful. We're now on to the last pitch of the day, but definitely not the least. And so we're heading to the tip of the continent to hear from the South Africa-based Khwezi Innovations team on their pitch about biodegradable 2-in-1 hand glove sanitizer. And I'd like to point out that the automatic subtitles, ironically and incorrectly, autocorrects Khwezi to Khwezi, but rest assured that this team is in fact aiming to reduce the spread of disease in a warming world.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Nonhlanhla Mhlongo from South Africa. I'm a founder of a startup called Khwezi Innovations, and we are working on innovation that promotes green living. So it all started in 2020 during COVID-19 when I used to work as a teacher, and I realized that sanitizing kids' hands and desks every 5 minutes was taking so much of the teaching and learning time. So how if we had an alternative solution that lasts for an hour, because that is enough for one period in South Africa? So after doing further research, we realized that there is actually more root causes into the problems, which included the skin irritation, disease transmission, constant hand sanitizing, and plastic pollution that is caused by latex gloves that are being dumped on land and they end up in rivers and oceans. So our solution is to develop a biodegradable 2-in-1 hand glove sanitizer that you apply in your hands and it stays effective for an hour. The glove is peelable and it dissolves in water within a few minutes, leaving no waste behind. So basically our technology is a sanitizer and a glove, which is a film-forming hand sanitizer that is protected for an hour. So you can either peel it off or wash it off depending on your preference. So we've conducted our market research to understand who exactly was our target market, and the results showed that our main target market was the health industry. So judging from the constructive feedback we've received from people we've pitched to, the pharmacies are the easy entry for us, given that working with government in South Africa is very difficult in terms of procedure and regulations that we need to follow. So basically our business model is from our manufacturing and distribution company straight to the pharmacies as our target market, and the end users will find the products at the pharmacies. We had our technical feasibility study conducted by the Nelson Mandela University, and that was funded by the Technology Innovation Agency, which is TECA, of which the university identified 3 main competitors, which was the Showa, the Uniglove, and the Abena. So our value proposition is the fact that our product is a 2-in-1, which means it acts as a sanitizer and a latex glove. It is biodegradable, mainly made from organic ingredients that are easily accessible in Africa, which makes it sustainable and innovative. So we are part of the WIBO program called the Investor Assistant Program, which actually provided us with a patent attorney, which from the communication, he suggested that we do further research and give him specification on what exactly we want to protect so that he start drafting our patent application. Prototype development, we've outsourced to LAMCAP for the prototype development, of which we also did our product formulation refinement. We've also reached out to Nature's Way for the packaging and labeling, and we've received our first MVP, of which the Khwezi Innovation had to test and give comments. So we had our market size summarized share projections according to country, continental, and globally. So the market size in 2020 in South Africa was about 1 billion USD. Continental in Africa, it was 5 billion USD, and globally, it was 58 billion USD. So in terms of support and partnership, as I mentioned, that we had our technical feasibility study funded by TECA. We outsourced to LAMCAP for our prototype development and testing so that we make sure that we're in compliance with the South African Bureau of Standards, which is the SABS. And we're part of the WIPO program, which is the Investor Assistance Program for the IP registration. And then we are part of the top 10 teams from TECA who actually invested in us, of which the investment went to prototype development, mentorship, and actually the expect overall development of our business. In terms of the progress, because we were part of the traction phase for 3 months with the TECA program, we've completed our branding, which included labeling, brochure, and the banner. We've had our MVP completed and developed, completed, and tested by the internal team. We which is currently right now on the refinements for the next stage, which is the user testing. We've consulted with the packaging, and we've also called about 10 pharmacies, of which 2 agreed to have our products tested, and we have 5 volunteers who are willing to assist us with the user testing phase. Our ask is of 120,000 USD, which is going to cover the licensing pitfalls and solutions, the pilot, launch, the patent valuation and commercialization, brand building, and marketing. So the team is myself as the founder, working alongside with Snigel Buthelezi, who is a professional nurse working within the health industry, so she knows exactly what is happening in the industry. So we have Lauren Lamont, who is a product development chemist with 12 years plus experience in the innovation skincare products. We have Slindobuhle Masugu, who is a medical doctor. She's working on translating scientific data into more basic information so that we work successfully and productively as a team. We have Sanile Zwane, who is working on the internal research, understanding issues that healthcare practitioners still have with latex gloves and hand sanitizer. And after joining the TECA team, we were able to have Noru Tando and Olwitu as our project assistant. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Nonlala, and thanks the Khwezi team. So we're now open for questions. I see applause and a hand raised for Alexi.
No, it's not easy to be the last one. Bitch, everybody's tired. Well done. What's left in the water after you've washed your hands with this biodegradable filter?
Thanks, Alexi.
What was the question? What is the remaining when we wash off the cloth?
Yeah, exactly. What do we find in the water? And as much as it is biodegradable, and how long does it take to biodegrade in between the time you scrap it off your hands and it's fully biodegraded? Is it toxic to marine or aquatic life?
Okay, thank you for your question. As I mentioned, that we are mainly using organic ingredients that are easily accessible in Africa. So when you wash it washes off immediately and it leaves no waste behind. Either way you peel it or you throw it away, it will biodegrade and it will have no effect on the environment. So we don't use the chemical ingredients that normally hand sanitizer would use or latex glove will use that contributes to the CO2 emissions. So it takes less than 2 minutes to actually biodegrade when you wash your hands off.
Thanks, Nonlala and Claire. And then after that, Mike.
Yeah, I'm interested in what your market sizing is based on. Is it general sanitizer sales? Is it the gloves? You know, what is it based on? I saw like 1 billion in South Africa alone. And I was wondering if these figures are, you know, post-COVID, so more recent 2023 figures there.
Okay, thank you. Those figures are actually based in 2022. And from that 1 billion that we mentioned, it's only account to 20% of that because we are even targeting different departments within the health industry. We're not targeting those ones that are working directly with fluids or water or anything that has to do with water, because even though we are using a very strong drying agent, but if you're working directly with water, you are not to the target market. So from that 1 billion that was projected in 2022, we account to about 20% of that.
Thanks, Nonhlanhla. Mike?
Yeah, I'm curious about the application of the sanitizer or the glove. Do you dip your hand into a bucket, or do you spray it on? Or how do you actually apply this glove so that it forms a barrier similar to a latex glove?
Okay, so basically, okay.
No, you can go on. Thank you.
Okay, so basically our product comes in a bottle form. It initially comes in a gel-like substance. It's packaged in a bottle, which is a dispenser, right? So when you apply it, you use the dispenser like it's a pump, right? So then you apply it on your hands. You apply it around your hands, and then it takes 20 seconds to dry. Within that drying process, you would feel the liquid or the fluid substance drying, and it then solidifies to it creates like a barrier. It's a barrier, a solidified barrier, of which then that's when you start doing your procedures and your duties using the glove. Then afterwards, after an hour, 1 hour, the bacteria efficacy only lasts for up to 1 hour. That is when now you, as a person who's wearing it, as the user, you decide whether you want to peel it off or you want to wash it down, you want to wash your hands. So it's either you peel it off and you discard it in water, or you just wash your hands entirely. I hope that answers your question, sir.
Thanks, Nicolelo. And we're actually out of questions. Maybe just to add to that, I've heard the team describe it almost like a face mask. If anyone's ever used one of those peelable face masks before.
That's a good example. That's a good example.
So thank you.
We would want to go deeper into like the ingredients, but we wouldn't know in terms of like, since it's an IP, but some of the questions we would like to answer out of the video scope. We can do that.
So yeah, that's a great segue, Nicolelo. If anyone has additional questions for the Khwezi team, please put it in the chat. We're now also pulling up the poll for the team. So if there is any interest in connecting to learn more, or any gifts of wisdom or advice that you want to provide them, that's a great chance to put it in the poll. I'm going to leave that open for just a couple of seconds more. Okay, well, with that, I think we'll leave this open until we close the call officially. But with that, that's all, folks. I would like to extend a big heartfelt thank you to all of our brave pitchers, as well as their supporting team, as well as all of our attentive investors and advisor audience. I love to see how lively the chat was today. That was really great. We look forward to seeing new collaborations emerge from this session and watch each of these companies continue to reach their full potential, especially as that relates to scaling their climate and environmental impact.